But I did see someone walking a raccoon before so it's an interesting place. Pet raccoon, yes. On a leash, yes. He looked a little better than his owner, I know that. But if you could picture someone that owns a raccoon, it'd be this guy. If you could draw a guy, it would be this person.
But he doesn't own a pair of pants with no holes in it, right?
Absolutely not.
All right.
I don't even know if you could call what he had pants on.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Who's Drinking What? Craft beer podcast where we just drink beers and talk about them.
That was good.
I'm joined by Brooks Scott here.
Hello, everyone.
And we're recording this at the Tap Beer Bar in beautiful downtown Bloomington. And quick order of business. If you guys want to follow the show on Twitter, it's at Who's Drinking What. Wouldn't let me fit the T on, but just start spelling and stop. And if you want to email the show, it's who'sdrinkingwhat@gmail.com. And we've got the YouTube channel. If you're listening to us on iTunes, hit us with the subscribe. Lots of ways to listen to us. Hope you guys like it. I guess enough of that, right, Brooks?
I guess so.
We've got two wonderful beers sitting in front of us. Actually, when I was handing them to you, I had to double check to make sure we didn't get them switched
they
up.
look very similar.
Both very nice dark brown. Mine's maybe got a touch of amber, but cheers. Oh, that's super smooth.
Is it?
Oh, I like it.
Ooh.
I like it. Oh. Well, Brooks, what are you drinking?
I have the Sun King Starfish Offensive. It's
Good
an
name.
oatmeal stout. I like oatmeal stout. This is pretty good. I was kind of thinking about it for a second there, but I like it. Let's see. It says cocoa sweetness and roasty malt flavor lead a full-on assault of your taste buds. It's very malty.
Is it?
I guess, yeah.
All right, so a little bit on the sweeter end of stouts.
I'd say so, yeah. That's kind of that's when I first had that puzzled look on my face at first. I was trying to decide if I liked it or not, but
Yeah,
it finishes pretty good. Good aftertaste. I like it.
I like that too. When you can see somebody try something new and just on their face, it takes them a second to really determine because there's so many tastes coming at you.
Whew. What'd you get?
Well, I stuck with Sun King too, and I got the Wee Muckle. And it is it's a Scotch ale, excuse me. We'll go into that in a second. But Wee Muckle is a large malt-balanced ale with huge toffee flavors and hints of a port-like character. And, man, yeah, it is good. And I do kind of get that port taste in there. Yeah, it's that nice kind of heavy. It's a 9% alcohol, so
Ooh.
I'm not saying that it's like got an alcohol burn or anything, but you can tell it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's blended craftily. It's very sweet. Really good Scotch ale.
Couple of good picks.
Yeah. And I think this one, even more than some of the other ones, you really get some of that, like, really fruity plum or fig kind of taste coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's got a nice sweetness, but also, like, that kind of dry fruit.
All right.
But, yeah, before the show, I know I've brought it up before, and now I feel foolish. Probably lost some beer cred, although I'm sure some of you figured it out. There's a difference between Scottish ales and Scotch ales.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, Scottish ales are the lighter ones. And I guess my rant was that I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention because there is lighter ones, and then there's the heavier, darker one like what I have here. And I usually prefer the heavier, dark one. But yeah, the Scottish ale is usually supposed to be a lighter alcohol, like a session beer. And then the Scotch ale is the heavier brother.
That's where it's at.
Totally. I love it. And it sort of reminds me of like when you see like double IPAs and stuff like that. Sort of that same idea where they're using the same ingredients, but the Scotch ale just has a much heavier dose of them. So it gives it a fuller body. And I guess one of the favorite things too is just Scotch ales feel really good when you're drinking them, like on the tongue, and it's just like a nice full meaty beer.
All right. Sounds tasty.
Yeah, so that's going to be the difference. I'm going to know that for the future. Who knew, right? Brooks, I know we kind of talked about it in the past, but national championships coming up. We're both big college football fans.
Yeah.
But I kind of heard something where I don't think it's looking so good for Ohio State.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, the Ducks of Oregon, they got Gordon Bombay to come in and show them the flying V.
No.
First kickoff, man. They're just going to wedge it on
Mighty Ducks reference.
up. Sorry, I I had to go for
They've
it.
been practicing against Iceland all week.
Yeah, those evil Iceland dicks.
Great movies.
I'm sure it was a terrible representation of the actual people of Iceland, too.
Yeah, I'm sure they're nothing like that.
Are you rooting for anyone in that game?
I mean, I'm gonna root for Ohio State. I'd like to see a Big Ten team win. I know you probably will. I know you're a big Michigan guy, but
Yeah, and I'm gonna go for Oregon actually, because I just it's fun to watch them play.
oh
offense.
yeah, their offense is awesome.
Yeah, I really don't have any sense for or against Oregon. They're just, I recognize they're a good team, but rarely see them on TV much in the Midwest.
I don't know. I think Urban Meyer's a pretty damn good coach. I was reading some stuff the other day. It said he has never lost a game when he's been an underdog.
Jeez.
Not that he's been the underdog a lot of times,
No.
but it's pretty good. He prepares well.
And how, especially in the second half, the game plan against Alabama
Oh
going
my gosh, they played out of their minds.
And then just the adjustments they were able to make in the second half where it was like a good game. I think Alabama, if I remember right, went into halftime with the lead.
Yeah, they were ahead.
But, it wasn't a close
I
game.
think
in the second
Alabama
half.
was up like 13 in the first half sometime. I think they cut it closer to 3 or 4 or something like that to half. But I mean,
Yeah, they scored
then
right before that.
Second half, they played a hell of a football game in the second half.
Yeah. And it's going to be a great game. I'm really excited. I'm going to be in Ohio this weekend. I'm going to go see my parents. I'm from Dayton originally, where I grew up. I'm going to go see my parents. I actually am going to do comedy at Wiley's on Sunday night, which is going to be the first time I've ever gone on the road to try it. It's an open mic, so nothing fancy.
You going with a couple people or?
Yeah. Kurt Messick, who was our guest
okay.
from episode 6, he's going. Another guy, Alex Brown from around the area, he's really good. He's maybe not even done it in a year, and this guy is going all over. He's really going places.
Natural.
And David Britton, who he won the funniest guy in Bloomington last year.
Really?
He's coming in from Vermont. I think he's out there doing shows right now. So
he's doing some big things, huh?
yeah, I think he's about a year away from just really, really making it, like headlining cities and stuff. So.
Wow.
Good scene in Bloomington. I like it.
Definitely.
But so I'm gonna be kind of in the den with all the Buckeye fans. So it'll be interesting. And actually, listeners, you're probably gonna hear a little more because I kind of have a surprise I've been cooking up, and I didn't say anything earlier because I wasn't sure if it was gonna happen, but the show's sort of going on the road.
Woohoo.
I'm sorry, Brooks, you can't come.
I'm
Brooks
not
knows.
invited.
Yeah, I'm going to do just a short segment with my friend Pat, and we're going to be going to a brewery in Dayton. So I'm sure the bowl game will come up then too.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Pat's a big sports fan.
Ooh.
You know what? Another thing happened in sports this week. You're a baseball fan, right?
Yeah.
Baseball Hall of Fame vote.
Oh yeah.
Did you have to see that?
I did. What'd you think of it?
I mean, I think they're all deserved.
Tell you what, Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez. Yes.
Oh my
I mean, there's
gosh.
not. Absolutely.
You know what kind of makes me mad, and I don't completely understand it, but why can't anybody be unanimous?
Right.
I mean, there's no reason. Randy Johnson is the second most strikeouts to
Big
Nolan
unit.
Ryan.
Oh, I know.
I think he won 4 straight Cy Youngs in one stretch. I mean, how is
He's one of the best pitchers of all time.
Yeah, it should be everyone should put him on their vote.
Yeah.
And it's not that people
I don't know how you don't.
Well, nobody voted against him, but yeah.
Right.
I guess there's this old man's kind of club about it where it's just like, oh, we can't let him in and we'll insult Tom Seaver or something, which
Yeah.
I think he had the highest vote percentage ever and at 98%.
Mm-hmm.
So even with him, there's plenty of people who decided for whatever reason not to vote for him. But you know what? when I saw who was on the ballot and was, Randy was definitely going to make it. Pedro was definitely going to make it. I would have probably guessed that Pedro would have gotten higher.
Right.
Only because I think for like a 4-year stretch, I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to be able to poke holes in this. I don't have stats in front of me, but I think he was the most dominant pitcher, not just in his time of baseball, but maybe ever.
For that 4-year stretch, I'd say. I mean, he was.
I don't think he ever had over a 2 ERA in that stretch. Won an MVP award.
Oh, yeah, I don't really know any stats either, but I remember. I couldn't even tell you what years they were, but I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
I just remember how freaking dominant he was. It was unreal.
Brought a World Series back to Boston for the first time since the whole Ruth thing.
That whole thing.
Yeah. And I know Randy Johnson, it makes sense that he got more votes because he was dominant right out of the bat. He was a little wild early in his career, but everybody was scared of him. Pedro, it took a few years to really learn his pitches and learn how to pitch, but God, for that period, if you're ever putting together like a video game team of baseballers, he would be the first pitcher I picked from, what was that, 2003 or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Interesting. Big playoff games in the NFL this weekend too. A lot of sports things happening.
Yeah, it's kind of like my second favorite time of year, and then we're gonna go into March Madness in a few months, which is my favorite.
That's definitely my favorite by far.
Yeah,
I take off work and everything for that.
Me too. Me too. I used to. It was the only time I'd take sick days in high school.
Yeah.
And intentionally, because I remember, I think it might have been my freshman year in high school. My mom didn't buy it because like I was sick like a few weeks earlier, like legitimately sick. But then I learned, I was like, you know what? You can't take 6 days if you want to get Thursday and Friday off of the first rounds.
Right. Yeah, I've already got them. I already requested them off and
smart.
Taking them off.
Yeah.
Every year, Thursday, Friday, I don't do anything but watch basketball.
It's so brilliant, and now I really love that you can watch it on You can watch every game.
Oh yeah, it's all on.
Yeah, they have 4 different channels.
True TV, TBS, TNT, CBS. I don't know. True TV. I don't get that
How
one. How
bad are the True TV commercials? In between,
they play the freaking heel jack towing commercial every.
Oh God, that's
I couldn't tell you what it's called, but
that guy has no right in still having lived this long. Like he should have probably
he's always
blown
getting
himself
shot
up.
at or something.
God, yeah. This is a total moron. Darwin would be pissed that he's still alive.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure how True TV got in on that deal, but congrats to them.
I think they might be owned by CBS?
That would make sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad it's there. The only time of the year I'll ever watch True TV.
Oh man, I think old Andrew Luck's going to get Peyton this weekend. I think the Colts are going to.
I do too.
I think the Colts are going to get him.
I really hope so. Two reasons too. Did you see that Peyton Manning has 8 losses in his first game of the playoffs?
Yeah, I've seen. Don't worry,
anyone else.
I know all those stats very well.
Yeah,
I've been a Colts fan my entire life. I've sat through those games and watched them all.
Well, and I know they're playing at home, but Peyton in winter is not a good combination. And not that he's terrible, but he is proven to struggle.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to do it, but what do I know?
Yeah. Welcome to the sports podcast.
Yeah.
We just drink beer on the side.
Talk about sports.
Yeah, I love it, though.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Got any more beer information, or are we just going to talk
No.
sports?
Oh, you know what? I was thinking about this morning. I kind of restarted working out. And I love Pandora for that. But I just started listening to like a early 90s West Coast rap station.
Oh, man.
It's great to work out to.
A lot of Tupac.
A lot of Tupac, a lot of like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. And some of those lyrics are just fantastically awful. They definitely would not have gotten away with it today. I mean, I know they were always over the line back then, but no, you know what? I think we need to update some of them. Put a little craft beer in it. You know, like instead of Alizé, do some IPA.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
You know, rolling down the street with my Oscar Blues old chub.
Old
Nitro. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. You know, I think it just
you could
writes
fit
itself.
something in there. Yeah.
I'm not a rapper, so I mean, if anybody's listening who's kind of going into that field or like dabbling on the side, let's do some remixes.
There you go.
Some craft beer remixes.
I think I could get into that.
Or it could be the worst thing ever.
That also could be the result of that too. So
Either way, I want to hear it to find out.
fair enough.
Man, we're kind of powering through these beers.
I know it's
So good.
tasty.
So I think we're going to take a break and stick around because we've played Pick Your Poison before. And we've even alternated. Like, you've given it to me and I've given it to you, administered. Don't want this to sound too weird.
Well,
But this is the first time we're going to go head-to-head. 2 rounds for Brooks, 2 rounds for me. So 4 points possible. See who wins this round.
the first time we're gonna give it to each other.
Absolutely.
Is what you meant to say.
So that's coming up, and later in the show, stick around because we do have another This Day in Beer History.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Shadows fall to my window. Night is coming on.
Welcome back. It's showdown time. I'm locked in, Brooks. I did my prep last night. I was looking over the menu, and I think the first one I think you might be able to get,
Okay.
but it's not easy.
He's got a pretty fierce look in his eye over there.
And I'm really interested to see how you do on the second one.
I'm already eyeing that one. It looks strange.
But so during the break, listeners, we each went down separately, and for this game we just get samples. We don't need a lot, but we go separately, and I came back with some interesting combination looks. One dark, one a little amber reddish,
Red.
and Brooks comes back with like the exact kind of same. Like it's different, but it's like, man, those two are totally different. And
Yeah.
even just looking at them throwing me off. So I'm intimidated. I'm gonna hit a pretzel real quick.
Intimidation factor. There you go.
You want to go first, or do you want to defer?
I'll defer to the second half, I think.
All right. Administer what you want me to try first.
We'll go here.
Okay, we're going with the light. And not only that, it's almost got like this pear color to it. Like it's very light, a lot of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an interesting smell. I think it's a lot of yeast smell to it.
Ooh.
I'm going to guess something European.
Uh-oh. That face.
That is tart. Son of a bitch, that is tart.
Like he just ate something sour.
You remember those old Keystone commercials, bitter beer face?
Oh, yeah. That was close to it.
Well, hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to have to style a beer. And you know what? We'll do professional courtesies and not like scan the menu before.
Sure. He's got
is
his
it-
thinking face on here.
There's not a whole lot with how tart this is, but it's not hop tart. It's definitely like a yeast. I'm picking up some very dry fruit taste to it.
Okay.
I don't know if they have one of these on tap right now, but is it a Berliner Weiss?
It is not. It is. You gonna guess again, or
One more, but it won't count for points. We'll keep the integrity of the game pure.
sure?
Is it a Hefeweizen?
It's not that either. It's actually an American IPA. Yeah.
That's an American IPA?
Yeah.
What are my choices?
All right. Let me get them in my head real quick here.
I mean, I guess I could call that a hop bite, but it's not like a traditional one. That's
All right.
interesting.
3 choices are the Three Floyds Annika,
Okay.
the Boulder Slope Style,
Okay.
or the Fall City Session IPA.
Well, I'm going to immediately throw Boulder Slope Style off. I had that last week. It's got a lot more of an amber red color to it.
Okay.
What was the last one? Slope style?
Falls City.
Oh, it's that because it says straw colored
Okay.
and mildly hopped, which maybe is why I was having a hard time necessarily calling it a hop flavor, and that it's a session IPA. I don't think I picked up a lot of alcohol, but
Picked up
Three
something.
Zanica. Yeah, and the Three Floyd Zanica is a 7.3.
Mm-hmm.
Although it says it's showcasing mosaic hops. Oh, throwing off a cornucopia of fruit flavors. Bitter, sweet, and full of force. Shit.
Uh-oh. We have a dilemma.
I need to learn my hop flavors better because
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what a mosaic tastes like.
I don't know my difference at all.
I mean, there's
Case for both.
a case for both, but I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick with the Falls City. Just because in the description it says straw colored, and I mean this is very
Yeah,
light. I would call it
straw-colored.
a straw color.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Correct.
All right, I got 1 point. I salvaged it.
All right.
All right, Brooks, I'm gonna give you your dark one first.
All right, little pretzel here.
Pretzel.
Whoa.
Going, yeah. Is there much of a scent to it?
Not a lot.
Okay. Kind of expected that.
Kind of smells kind of coffee-ish. I don't know.
Okay. See how you take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we were playing guzzle it, buy it, dump it, I think you just dumped it.
Yeah. I don't know what. Why does it taste like that?
And to be fair, and I'm sure you had the same, I mean, we prepped by looking at the menu online. We didn't necessarily taste these ahead of time.
It tastes
so.
like black coffee.
Really?
Yeah, whatever. Or, I mean, maybe. I think it's a porter. Is it a porter?
It is a porter.
Okay.
All right, 1 point for Brooks.
I-
Now, your choices are between the Stone Smoked Porter, the Sun King Red, White, and Woo,
Okay.
and the Tin Men Cafe Liche. They're all on the same page. Should be fairly.
I don't think it's the red, white, and woo.
Yeah.
Because it says it's a red porter, and that didn't. It looked pretty damn dark to begin with.
Okay.
Stone
Yeah.
smoked porter, smoky flavors, followed immediately by a blast of orange peel and citrus, cocoa and roast malts. All right. Tin Man Cafe Leche. Is that the other one you said? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet dark malts and cold brewed coffee combined for a flavor with. It's got to be that one. It says cold brewed coffee. It tastes like freaking coffee.
You didn't pick up a smoky flavor?
I don't know. It just didn't taste very good.
So, are you going to go Cafe Liche, Tin Man?
Yeah, just because it says cold brewed coffee and it tastes like freaking coffee.
He's really good at this game.
Is that
really,
it?
really good.
Oh,
2 points for
man.
Brooks. All right, so 2
There
to
we
1
go.
after the first round. I got some work to do.
You want to try that?
Hell no.
Okay, well, I guess I'll.
I don't like coffee either.
I mean, I don't mind. I kind of like coffee, but not when I'm.
I didn't
drinking
actually
beer,
know it
I
was going to
guess.
be that strong. I went with that because I thought it was the more middle tasting of the 3 porters. And there's a few other porters on the menu, but interesting.
There,
You finished it.
hold on, I don't even remember what I got you. Hang on.
All right, I'll slow my roll.
Um,
Brooks is definitely not going to beat Vanna White out for her job anytime
no,
soon.
yeah, no joke. What in the fuck did I get you?
Even if they were looking to go in a more facial head direction.
I remember now. I remember now.
Okay, you got it? Well, and you can think it out while I'm tasting, too.
No, I'm good to go now.
And I definitely have a dark one, by the way. I mean, just visually, I would say I was between a stout and a porter. Now, after my first taste, it's definitely between those. I might actually be favoring porter, though, because it's not as thick of a brew as what I think usually a stout is.
Okay.
And it's It's got a dark brown, but like if you hold it up to the light, you can see through it a little bit. Not like some of the deeper stouts. I'm gonna go with a porter.
Correct. It
Okay.
is a porter.
All right. I'm gonna leave a little bit of the last taste. I finished off the first one too quickly.
All right, your choices. Now that we've had a couple porters in a row, what do you? So I'm off in the distance, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, your choices are the Stone Smoked Porter, which
Okay.
was a choice. The Sun King Red, White, and Woo, which is also a choice for me.
Okay.
And the Upland Batter Elmer.
Okay. See, and when we were putting this game together, I actually there's kind of a lot of porters on the menu. I thought that there's a good chance that you might do a porter also.
Right.
So.
I kind of had those three picked out. I know you had two of them in there
Exactly.
too, but why not?
No, that's fine. And that's what's interesting. See if I can nail this. And that there were enough that you didn't pick the exact same three.
Yeah. I wish I would have picked Tin Man Leche so you could have drank that.
It might take a second to ponder. I got to read some of these.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. If I was like getting up for work and needed some coffee, I'd probably drink one, but I don't know. It's kind of frowned upon.
I'm also going to go against the Red, White, and Woo.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it really does make it sound like it should be red visually.
I know, yeah. That's also the one that they don't give samples of. I just now remembered that.
No. You're thinking of Blot Out the Sun, sir.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I just-
Yeah, that one's also, that's...
It just popped into my head that it was a three-voice beer. All right, that makes sense.
So, it's interesting. The Stone Smoked Porter says that you get smoky flavors immediately followed by a blast of orange peel and citrus. And, I'm not... And actually, it says an orange peel prominent aftertaste. I know sometimes...
Is it orangey?
No, and that's what... Yeah, sometimes, like, when you read things in the descriptions, I don't always pick them up the way the
Right.
description reads.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's very citrus-based, and I gotta say, I'm not picking any up. And that the Batter Elmer, the Uplands Batter Elmer, is saying that it has multi-highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And later, and it says leads to a complex malt character. And I would say I'm definitely picking some of that malt up. It's not as strongly bitter as some porters can get. So, Brooks, I think you went with the local boys, Upland, and their Batter Elmer.
Final
That's
answer?
my final answer, sir.
You're correct. Nailed it.
I needed it. 2 points. So
When he needed it most,
I know, keeps me in the
he
game.
performed.
All right, and I saved my hard one for you.
I might get shut out on this one. This one just looks weird. I have zero confidence with this.
I felt very devious coming up
Oh.
with this last night.
It smells like wine.
Okay.
It really does.
All right. Interesting.
Um,
Have you taken it? Okay. He just kind of kept taking smells and...
yeah. God, what are you doing to me?
Well, I didn't necessarily mean to make you recoil from the taste of them. I was just trying to go for something not easily distinguishable.
This might take a minute. Let me
Well, you're just trying
let
to
me
name
shuffle
style
through
right now.
here.
You just got to name a style.
Hold on.
Now, I know on one of the past episodes you said that
It
you
tastes
pretty
like
much
wine.
tried all styles.
I have.
It's definitely beer, not a wine.
No, I'm sure it is. It the stupid fruit lambic?
Is that what you're gonna go with?
Yeah.
A stupid fruit lambic?
The Lindemans one. That's going to be my guess.
Okay, so you're picking fruit lambic for your style.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Do you want to hear your options?
I guess so. I don't know. That's the one
So,
that stuck out to
the
me.
Lindemans
give me my-
Frambois
give me my
is
option.
one.
Okay.
Boone's Creek. And the Tap Zone Smoky Persimmon.
Oh, I didn't think about Tap Zone. Shit.
Yeah. Tough choice, huh?
Boone Creek.
The best I can hope for here is a tie, by the way. I can only tie.
Oh, man.
But I would love to see a tie. He's almost got it finished, so he's not going to have a whole lot of pondering time.
Oh, man. I don't think it's the tap one. I'm going to eliminate that one.
Not going to go with the smoky persimmon.
No.
All right. And the reason that's able to fit in is lambic is a fruit beer.
Yeah.
But it's if you're going to get something lambic, it's kind of like how bourbon is specific to a specific area in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, whiskeys are still in a similar style. I know purists might jump on me about this, but same with Scotch, and you can find other Scotch whiskeys that aren't exactly Scotch. It's because of lambic has to do deeply with the area of Belgium. But it's still a fruit beer, so that's why I was able to include the fruit beer here from the tap.
I'm just going to guess Lindemans.
He's going with Lindemans Framboise. It's tied up.
Uh-oh. Was it the Crick?
It was the Boone's Creek.
God. I couldn't. One of them said raspberries. One of them said sour cherries. I don't know that. I couldn't tell the difference.
You know what's interesting? I didn't notice this, but if you would order either of those lambics, you're only going to get a 7-ounce glass.
Really? And it's only 4% alcohol.
But I imagine there's something about a lambic and the way it's supposed to be consumed, maybe because it's so powerful that
Right.
you're not supposed to have a lot.
Oh, man. I don't know if I could.
It goes against my American sensibilities of consumption, though.
Yeah, right?
Well, I felt it was fun. I'm sorry to the listeners that
Tie game.
we couldn't have a more definitive champion.
Oh, well.
You know what? We earned our places on the show, though. We're
Yeah,
no amateurs.
I guess so.
And I think we both made it hard for each other.
Yeah.
Well, stick around, guys, because it is January 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a This Day in Beer History coming up. Second beers.
Make sure to give me a good beer here. Those two samples weren't the greatest. Need something to wash those down with.
Yeah, no, and I've already got something in mind. I'm looking forward to it. So stick around. We'll be right back.
I like girls in cut-off blue jeans. Is that really oh so bad? Sometimes I think I miss my call. Should have been Sir Galahad. Memories, they come to me. I find I see places I'd like to be. My mind, it runs in circles for what seems forever. Stopping never.
All right, guys.
Around the door.
I'm coming to you from a completely different place where you just heard me 38 seconds ago, or however long the break song is. I'm coming to you from Toxic Brew Brewery Company in downtown Dayton, and it is the first brewery in Dayton in over 52 years.
Sounds right.
So it's a really
Pretty good.
cool looking place.
Very cool. Very nostalgic.
Yeah, this place is real nostalgic, and whose voice you just heard is my friend Pat Masters.
How you doing?
So when I knew I was going to be in Dayton, he's a fan of beer, I know, so.
And I'm one of your heavier friends, so you know I drink enough to be able to do this.
We are fully belly endowed men
Absolutely.
to hold a lot of beer.
Let's add to that.
Yeah. Well, this is not traditional for what I normally do for the show because we got a flight of beer. We actually have 4 different brews, and they're all in-house. I think they're all made by Toxic.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to start with something in particular.
Yeah, let's go. Which one did we get this the same? We got
Number 10, which is
Belgian
the,
Triple, right?
Yeah, Abby's Cure.
Yeah, let's check that one out.
It's got a nice golden color to it already.
Yes, it does. Looks like apple.
Smells good.
I'd like to say there's a hint of apricot in there, but I think
Yeah.
I might just be BSing. I don't know.
I like that you kind of said that like that old Saturday Night Live kit, like, I like your sweaty balls.
It is. It's a sweaty beer.
It's nice, too. It's kind of room temperature. It's not real chilled, so
It is. I like
it's got
it.
a real nice sweet flavor.
Smooth. It almost has like a little bit of a malted taste, a little bit. It's not too heavy. Doesn't coat your mouth. I wouldn't say it's not.
Yeah. goes down nice and easy.
I can-
It's 9.6% alcohol.
It does not taste like that. I will definitely say that.
They hide it well.
You can always tell a good beer by your burp too, if it tastes good like an hour later. So I don't know about this one if if it would fall in that category, but
Unfortunately, we're not going to get to find out because we're going to put like 3 more beers on top of that.
right, exactly.
I like that thing. I've never heard that before.
That's right.
The burp test.
It's kind of like food, you know. You got a certain food that you burp like 4 hours later. You're like, what the hell?
Mexican always does that to me.
Absolutely. Well, that's my favorite food, so that makes sense. Beer and Mexican. So
There's a great place in Bloomington. If you ever find yourself there, I'll take you, called El Ranchero.
oh, absolutely. Anything with L, just to, is good. Still enjoying this. It's a very smooth beer.
Yeah, I think I could probably drink a lot of it quick.
I know
without
that's a
knowing.
problem. Yeah, I could see this beer being a problem, I think.
Then I can't drive home.
Hey, 2 on Sunday, I guess.
That's right, it is Sunday.
Some day drinking.
Pat, I wanted to ask you, I kind of already know, but you have a really kind of interesting job. You do like
Yep.
collection appraisals, right?
I do. Kind of people go to people's houses and they say, hey, I got all this stuff to sell. And it's usually sports stuff. That's kind of, what I specialize in. But you never know. You might go to someone's house and they have, Mickey Mantle autographed baseball, an old Babe Ruth picture or advertisement. And then they might, oh, can you sell this tractor? And I'm like, well, maybe. Like, can you tell me anything about it besides that it's green? Like, and that's pretty much what we do. And I really enjoy it. You get to see a lot of cool different things, and it's kind of a great mix between just a sales job and picking. And I still collect a little bit, but I like to stay in the sports genre. But it travels outside of that, which is interesting. It keeps it.
Yeah, I would have to imagine it's almost like you're going to like really terribly decorated museums every day.
Absolutely, yeah. And some people, and some people you'll go in there and they think they have something, and that's the worst part about the job is telling them like, no, that's not worth that much, or so that's the worst part about it. But the best part is you get to learn about a lot of stuff that you might have. A lot of stuff that you might have just passed in a store, like a secondhand store or something, some consignment shop, and you might have been like, man, I saw that before for like $20, and I just sold this for $300 or something,
Wow.
So something you find in someone's house. So it kind of gives you. It's like I'm an old woman, like an old antiquing woman. Like, so
Norma would be proud.
she would. Oh, my grandma, she's the best. I couldn't sell any of her stuff. It was just covered in like smoke. I could not like some of her stuff. She's like, "Oh, you can sell this when I pass away," and it's like from Avon, and I'm like, was it always this color? I think it's like an emerald green, but somehow it's got this layer of nicotine on it, and just so. But yeah.
What's the weirdest thing? Have you ever found like John Glenn's like space helmet or anything?
Nothing. I'm trying to think something. Well, actually, one person's house we went to was someone I had known for a long time, and they had casually talked to me about, my cousins used to drive around celebrities in Washington D.C. area when they come in for a fundraiser, or athletes and musicians. And so he's like, yeah, I got some stuff that my cousin handed down to me and my uncle and whatnot. So I go to his house, and I mean, it was a mother lode. I mean, it was like the Baseball Hall of Fame mixed with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean,
whoa.
And people's autographs, Sinatra with Dean Martin autographed Copacabana, playbill, or a bill or something like that, and Babe Ruth autographed baseball. I mean, to somebody from Babe Ruth, and we got it all authenticated, everything like that. And so when you get to see that kind of stuff, it's like that's the best part of the job.
That is amazing.
So yeah.
And it sounds like he came to you so casually, like, just maybe check it out. It's
Well,
like,
yeah.
what's the mother?
Well, it was one of those things. I knew about the collection for a couple years, and he wasn't ready to do anything with it, and kind of contacted me out of the blue. I think, actually, matter of fact, I saw him at the post office, and he said something to me about, oh, could you come check it out? And, I'm expecting to go over there and see like 3 or 4 things, and it ended up being a collection of about 3,300 autographs, and they were all pre-19. like 60s. I mean, they were pretty. I
Wow.
mean, like Mickey Mantle. Like one of the items we had authenticated was a Mickey Mantle autograph, but he was so young that it was different than all his other autographs.
Before
like,
he had the palsy
his
from the
freshman year.
drinking.
Well, or not his freshman year. His freshman year in pro baseball.
When he was in George Steinbrenner's dorm.
That's where my sports knowledge goes to. I call, but no, but it was from his rookie year, so it looks different than. So there weren't a ton of examples to compare that to, because you're looking at an autograph when he was 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, because he broke in early.
Yeah, so some guys get into a thing where, like a LeBron James or someone nowadays, their autograph's completely different than it was. Of course, he's been signing autographs probably since he was 12. A guy like LeBron James, but those guys change over time. So it was really cool to see some of that stuff. And
it was a completely different autograph culture back then too. Like,
oh yeah, it was.
You would get autographs, but it wasn't like as insane. I think
Exactly, and that was that's the biggest part about it, is how preserved they were and how well taken care of everything was. And it was one of those things you see and you're like, oh, this isn't real, And then you get it authenticated by PSA, who's like the #1 authentication company, and bam, all good. Nothing has come back. Jeez. So it's always fun to do that and get to see what people are willing to pay for that kind of stuff, because a lot of it's market value, and you can't compare it to anything else because,
super original.
Yeah, think about, a 10-year-old kid getting an autograph in 1952 and keeping it in that good condition. Can you imagine getting something like that when I still remember when we were younger, I had a Juan Gonzalez autograph baseball, and we were out of baseballs. We went to go hit, and we're like, oh, we'll just use this. It's my favorite player. I'm like, oh, we were out of baseballs. This is a good one. Let's go play home run derby with this. So, that was my mindset. So.
Did that one ever get lost? Did you ever hit that into the woods?
Oh, it's somewhere buried in the woods out there at Northmont High School. Actually, they probably just bulldozed over it since they're building a new high school. So someone might have actually found that baseball out there, thought it was really old, but nope, some chubby kid hit it in the woods here about a decade ago.
Well, I finished mine because that was a great story to listen to.
I just took that one hit. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was really good. I like that. Smooth. The other ones look much heavier, but oddly enough, I think that one's maybe the higher alcohol content. But
I really like triples and quadruples because there can be a lot of difference, but they have just that really nice fruity flavor.
Yes.
High alcohol, but you don't taste it.
It's not an aftertaste type of beer. No, not at all. Like a Guinness, I can already see one of the, that we're going to have one here that I like that, though. I kind of like kind of like coffee, kind of like a lasting kind of bitterness.
You did get an Imperial Stout.
I did.
I stayed away from that.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to dig in. We don't have any more duplicates, so.
Okay. I'm going to go on to the Imperial Stout since that one's.
All right. I'm going to, if I can pull it out of my flight.
These things are pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually it's really good price here, too, because where we are in Bloomington with the tap, usually you just get pints.
Right.
To have this option is really cool, especially since it's all their beers.
Well, right, and it's all stuff you can try, and it really helps you kind of learn kind of what you're getting and what you like and what you're, places like this help you. You can't go into an Applebee's. What are they going to tell you about?
You want a Bud Light? Bud Light,
right? Yeah. I don't know what pairs well with your riblets. That's what
Budweiser or Coors,
right?
There's our second beer, I should say.
So what'd you get?
I actually went with the double, another Belgian style.
Okay.
And it maybe even was this episode, or I was telling somebody, but there's doubles, triples, and quadruples.
Okay.
And some people think that it's like you double brew it, a double, triple, and so on. But it's actually because they used to have to be brewed in abbeys with monks. And it's only called a double because it was the second beer they brewed.
Huh.
So
it's like, okay. So
it just means the second beer.
So it doesn't mean it's stronger necessarily, or...
No, it usually has a characteristic of being above an 8% alcohol content, and a double is usually a little more brown.
Okay.
And same with the triple. It was a different abbey, but it was like their third beer.
Yeah.
And it has a characteristic of being a little more of that kind of golden champagne color.
Nice. So what are you thinking of that one? Better or worse than the first?
I mean, it's really good. It's smooth like that,
Yeah.
but it's got a different taste. I would maybe actually prefer the triple,
Okay.
but it is very good. I mean, I would order it again if they didn't have the triple on tap.
Say I got
It's got more of a banana flavor for
Really?
its fruit type of flavor
Okay.
instead of apricot.
Nice. Yeah, this Imperial is. I love black and tans.
Yeah.
So I can tell. Yeah, it's like one of those that would just be perfect with the black and tan as a black and tan. But yeah, it's very good. I like it. It's once again, it's not overwhelming. It's not an overwhelming beer. I wouldn't say it's
Is it a stronger coffee flavored one?
a little bit. Yeah, it definitely is. If I had to compare the two, I think in small doses I'd like the first one better. But
Yeah.
it's just probably the first one was almost a sipping beer. It was so. I mean, but
Yeah.
you could drink. I mean, because you know what it's going to do to you. But
And
no,
then
this
50
one's
sips
just-
later.
Right, exactly. But no, I really like both so far.
One thing that we do together, I mean, we've been in the same fantasy baseball league since high school.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I came in later to the league than some of the guys in there.
Back when we used to had to do it by hand.
Yeah,
On,
didn't fully have to go through
Microsoft
the paper.
Word. Yeah. Hell yeah, you'd have to wait on the Dayton Daily News to come out, and we wouldn't get like our results till Wednesday or something at school. He'd come in with his, it's like done like that was his homework. He spent more time on fantasy baseball probably than, but he'd come in with like a packet. Statement you'd go through. It's like, dude, how much time did you put into this? Like.
I remember you guys asked me to get into it when you guys went to Yahoo because you were able to open up the league because it wouldn't be as much work on them.
Yeah. God, we could have been at the forefront of that, dude. We could have put that on the internet before
Yeah.
fantasy baseball was as popular as all that stuff. And
Got so much bigger. I don't even
crazy.
know, how did you guys get into that, or like who originally came up with that idea?
I think it was Foley. I think it actually started with football, and then it was only 4 people. I can still remember our first draft at Foley's house, and the number 1 pick was Barry Sanders. Number 2 pick
Was that Kevin?
I think so.
Kevin Losey's a big Detroit
At some
Lions.
point, yeah. At some point in that year, Brett Favre was traded straight up for Barry Sanders. I remember, and it was like, and they were like, right in the middle of their prime, essentially. So,
That's cool.
yeah, it wasn't. But I remember, yeah, it was like you only had 4 people in the league, so my team was like Barry Sanders, Steve Young, Warwick Dunn. It's like his
Yeah.
rookie year. I mean, it was just like.
Jamal Anderson. for the
Jamal, yeah,
Falcons.
it was. I mean, your whole team was loaded, So it's not like it is now, where you're on the waiver wire looking for. I mean, back then you were picking up like, equivalent to now, you'd be picking up like a Ben Roethlisberger or something as your quarterback. Like he wouldn't even be on a team
Yeah.
back then. So, but yeah, I think fantasy sports a little bit though has ruined my like of regular sports. I must say, I still
Yeah.
like it, but sometimes I'm not as interested in games. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Or
it's
for the wrong reasons.
for the wrong reasons, yes.
Yeah.
Some people would say that, but yeah, but I just like it, and statistics, I guess. I like
Yeah.
statistics. I mean,
That's why I think we've all played basketball, football, baseball together, fantasy sports, but baseball is by far my favorite. I love diving into those
Me too.
statistics. Having the long season where it's not just, like this guy could have a career year. Sometimes that still happens, but it's like trying to find his career 2 months within
right.
that year.
I think I'm with you. I like, the longevity of it. It lasts forever. It's like the season goes on, and you get to kind of do something, tinker with it every day. But it's, it's one of those things like people are like, oh, I can't set my lineup and whatever. But we've always, me and you're probably the same. I mean, besides just that part of it, I mean, that stuff takes you a minute a day if you want to. I mean,
Yeah. I
but if
agree.
you want to do the research, all the extra stuff, yeah, you'll spend some extra time on that. But it's
I mean, you're right. I have a friend who I really loves baseball and I think would enjoy fantasy baseball, but that was always his excuse, was like, I don't want to have to do it every day. And it's like, it takes very little time, and you can set them for days ahead.
right.
know?
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
I'm sure you do this too, though, where you and I, it can take a couple minutes, but at the same time, you're looking for your utility player. Like, okay, he's playing a daytime
Yes.
on grass against the lefty. What are his splits versus this other guy who's playing night game
Right.
on turf at home?
All the time, yeah. Pitching matchups, lefties, righties, all that. But the best part about it for me is that it really aids my job actually too, because
Yeah.
I keep up on guys. So if someone breaks out, and that's how quickly it happens too.
This
I mean,
man, Yasiel Puig. Last year, I mean, it was his first year over from the Dominican, or from Cuba.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Cuba, I later found out, tried to hide him from the majors. They didn't even let him play on their national team for a year to try to hide him.
No comment about that hiding. I didn't have anything to do with his defection here.
No, he didn't. No. But no, he drafts him, and it's like, who?
I get one of those every year, yeah. That's Jose Abreu last year, man.
Oh, my God. That was amazing, too.
I'm telling you, bet on Cubans. That's what I'm saying. Castro's.
Do you have Castro's number?
I do. Well, it's a Telegram. We have a Telegram service we use. But he's such a nice
Fidel,
guy, though.
Stop.
No.
What's the best prospect? Stop.
Right.
Where can I get a good Cuban? Stop.
I know. And he sends me back Jose. I'm like, geez, which one? I was like, how many of those do you have there? I'm like, that can play baseball. Like, but
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think that's the way. I mean, I'll tell you, that's the guys to. I mean, Cubans now. I mean, if we would have had. I mean, if those guys, you never know how many guys have missed out that are as good as those guys, over time. Just like the, Negro leagues at one point where you missed out on a lot of those guys that didn't break out to their, like, literally 40. I mean, like a guy like Satchel Paige, I mean, something like that.
Josh
Gibson.
Yeah.
The true home run king, they say.
Yes.
So.
Played for, what was it, the Kansas City Grays, right?
That's right. Yeah. So. Catcher.
Yeah, that's true. The Cuban League is the new.
Yeah, it really is.
In a way, Negro League.
Yes.
And hopefully with these new sanctions going in, it'll be a lot easier for them to come over, and they'll actually get drafted and get like proper signing bonuses. I mean, some of those guys make a lot, but there's a few that come over that really don't get probably what they deserve.
Yeah.
And I'm on Runzi Castillo, by the way.
Okay, that's the Red Sox outfielder, yeah.
I was going to try to pick him up in September last year, but ESPN never added him to the player pool.
I know. He actually played, I think so. It'll be interesting to see what these guys, real names are here soon, too. He's coming out like Yasiel Puig's name's like Doug Richards or something. He's going to probably.
Fausto Carmona turned out to be Roberto Hernandez.
Right, yeah, like
Fausto is such a cooler name.
It is. Why'd you just run with it, dude? Like, who cares if you got caught? I mean,
just
your
up
name.
Your birth certificate a few years, but keep the name.
Right. Come on. That means he was cashing checks under a false name for a while, though. So hey,
that's true.
I mean,
IRS is on that guy.
Yes.
Well, we've run through another 4 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
So on to number 3. I'm gonna go with. I'm not facing the menu. I should have written this down. The Dank Dunkel.
Okay.
Great name, right?
A great name. Dank.
It's a Belgian dark wheat.
Sounds dank. I'm going Gym City Ruby, which Gym City, if you're unaware, is the nickname of Dayton. So this is their signature beer here. And it does have a ruby color.
It's got a great color. It's got a lot of clarity, too, though. Interested to see your first thought. Well, mine's got some bite to it.
Kick you? Yeah, mine too, actually. Probably the most of the ones I've had so far. It's got nice bite to it.
You know what's weird,
Very
though?
good.
I like mine because sometimes when you have a beer, it has that really, like, abrupt taste.
Yes.
But then it finishes with something that it's almost like taking a left on the path.
Right.
This has an oddly banana finish to it.
Nice.
Like, completely unexpected.
Kind of wanting to drink yours now.
All right.
Here, switch me. Let me try that. You try that one.
So Gem City.
See if it.
This is Wright State versus UD in a glass.
Yeah, yours is a little more fruity.
Yeah, yours has a pretty strong hop profile.
It does, definitely, and I actually kind of like that. If it's not a constant, like we were talking about, where it doesn't stick around, if it just
it doesn't.
If it just hits you, and it's kind of
better,
just like you said, smooth, kind of calms down. I like that one.
I actually was trying to. Got lost in fantasy sports. Don't get me started again. Right. I love them. But I was going to ask you, because we do a lot of drafts together.
Yes.
And what's really cool is we don't do the online drafts. We all get together in a room, 12, 14, depending on which league we're in. And do you think you found any beers that you would love to just, like, draft with?
Yes. Actually, my favorite beer is Anchor Steam, which is San Francisco brewery.
Yes.
And that is kind of my go-to. Or if it's an NBA draft, I always get a 40. NBA draft, I always get like two 40s, and that'll usually
Old English.
it's usually 45. He's Colt, but you know, I'm open to suggestions too. I always ask the clerk there. They're very helpful with
What kind of 40 do you suggest?
yes. What pairs well with a Dwayne Wade draft, first round pick? But yeah,
and I'm really looking at Tayshaun Prince in the later rounds.
Oh yeah, and then they'll pick you up with that. But,
That actually, you might have already answered it, but I should ask it officially of you then, because we like to ask our guests on the show. Can you think of a craft beer that you had that really kind of opened you up to the world of more taste in your beers, where you're like, you know what, I expect more out of them than just your regular domestics?
actually, I think it was the Anchor Steam that kind of got me. It was one of the first ones that my dad kind of got me hip to a little bit, and he considers himself a beer connoisseur, he would say, but he kind of got me into that, and it kind of took me off, because you kind of go through a point like when you're in college to where you're drinking Keystone and Natty and all that stuff, and you do kind of grow up from that, because, and like I've always said, I was never a huge fan of like the Natties and the Keystone, because you just can't get the full. Why don't you just drink a regular beer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It tastes better. It's more full, but yeah.
My dark secret, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I'm trying to build a craft beer cred by doing the show, but I drank a lot of Keystone.
Oh, Keystone's, well, it's the
could put a
best.
lot of down.
And yes, and I've always heard, is it true? You might be able to help with this, but I've always heard that Keystone is Coors Light, but it's dented cans. Is that correct?
Not just dented cans, but it's same with Natural Light for Bud Light and Old Milwaukee for Miller Lite.
Okay.
It's usually the stuff, like, because they make them in such big vats, the stuff that doesn't like live up to the quality standard of those. So it could be dented can, or it could be something on the bottom where they had more of the material settle, where it kind of changed the taste a little bit.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
It's like-
So it's like, well, this isn't Bud Light good. Let's just sell it as something else.
Just like Coca-Cola just needs they need their generic brand of something they could have.
Isn't it RC?
That's different. It's just be like
Yeah, I know.
Old Dayton, kind of like Old Milwaukee. Just have Old Dayton. No, it's just a flat Coke. It's pretty good.
This Coke tastes funny.
I'm losing my numbers here, so
Yeah, that's true.
thing. Oh yeah, they number the beers. I didn't probably should have said that, but it's kind of a cool idea. So you kind of know, you can look at the board here and see what you got. But
Yeah, because a couple of them, like your last two, have similar colors, so that's
right, yeah, this
glad you
one
knew.
and the last one would be tough to probably tell the difference
What's your
between.
last one there that you're waiting on?
Number 9.
Horn or Pawn?
Ooh, arguably
Good
the best
save.
name up there. What was Dank Dunkel might have the best, but then I'd say Porn or Pawn is up there. Porn and Pawn up there. So, you want to polish this one off?
Yeah, let's do it. One thing, too, about Toxic Brew that I'm really liking, and it says it on their website. In fact, Toxic Brew is our brewery spotlight. We spotlight a brewer every week. But I figured, why not do these guys since we're coming here? But
Absolutely.
it's very focused, and I think you can tell from us getting a double and a triple, and then I got that Dank Dunkel, that they are really influenced by Belgian brews. But they also call it Toxic Brew because of the high alcohol content. They like high gravity stuff, that it doesn't go bad quickly, that you can keep in a keg for a while and still good months later.
Yeah. And then it can turn into Toxic Milwaukee Light at some point. Bottle it.
Totally. This place is great, and
It's very
I am
good. Yeah, I like it.
probably feeling it quicker than any show I've done so far.
It is a little bit, isn't it? Man, it's very good. I wonder if it's the mix. Is there any mixing, or
That might
mixing
be
beers?
it.
Could be
That
something's
might be
going
it.
on there in our bellies. Okay, what's this last one? So this is, what do you have?
I have the it's called the Loch Ness Express, and probably my favorite style of beer right now is a Scotch ale
Okay.
or a wee heavy, and this is that. And what was cool too is they had the English style pull tap, like it's not the you just kick it down and it
Yeah,
comes out.
oh,
They
yeah,
have
it
to
is.
pump it.
That's really cool. Actually, you can see the tap from here. That is interesting.
Yeah, when I went to London a couple years ago, those were all over.
Ooh,
Holy crap.
this one's out of left field.
Yeah.
Same with you? Yeah, a little
Yes.
bit. This one tastes almost different than any beer I've ever had, I would say. I'm still.
Well, actually, and I think there's a reason you want to describe what type of beer they listed as.
This is a pepper ale,
Yeah.
which you definitely get that. It's not. I wouldn't say it's spicy, but
It's got a zing.
It's definitely got an early zing to it, and it's. I'm gonna have to go in again for.
Yeah, get another. I like when sometimes you have to take a second taste to really understand what's going on.
Wow, it's great. Actually, I like it. I really do. But I'll tell you what, this is one I could tell you can't. This is one you like. You might want to drink a pint of this and call it a day, maybe, and go to something else because the pepper taste is pretty strong. Like you can actually.
Do you think it would pair well with like any foods or anything? Like, because I think a pepper taste is pretty unique.
It is.
And actually, sometimes it goes the reverse. Like if you're eating something spicy, you'll want a
Right.
beer to kind of offset that.
You know what? That's a good question. I mean, I think any heavy meat product would be great. You know, like a steak. I mean, a steak that's not. And I wouldn't. If it's like a pepper steak, I wouldn't do that because that's just overdoing it. But no, it's definitely good. I think it. But also, one of my favorite things to have beer with is Italian food.
Really?
So I like beer with Italian food. I don't know why, but I think this would go. I think this would go pretty well with just a spaghetti and meatballs. To be
the
honest with
sweeter
you,
tomato taste mixed. I like.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to use it as a sipping beer, you know, if you want to have it with a meal, just but
That's
definitely quality.
awesome.
What about yours?
It's probably the most unique Scotch ale I've ever had because it is actually. It does say oak aged on there. Okay. I'm really actually getting into like barrel aged stuff because what they'll do is use old whiskey barrels and oak barrels, and you age the beer in there, and it does get that kind of like vanilla taste. I don't know if you want to try it. It's going to be
Yes.
completely
Here,
different
let's switch
than
these
yours.
up. You try that
I
one.
like
Tell me
it.
what you
All right.
think.
But and it's got a high alcohol. It's got a 10.5 alcohol, and you completely taste it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can smell it. You ever smell something, you can taste it.
Dude, yours is like pepper jack
Isn't
beer.
it? Yeah, it is. It's like a pepper jack beer. It's like, so maybe cheese would go well with it. I don't know.
That is
Probably could.
delicious.
But
And
I like
the most
yours
unique
too.
beer I've ever had in my life.
yeah,
You
isn't
do-
it? Was I not right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's one of the. It's like a lot of bite early, but it's pretty smooth after that. I mean,
It doesn't linger too much either.
no, it's almost like you're drinking food. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it's not chunky or anything, but it's like it's just something
get
that
it.
you know what I'm saying. It gives you a completely unique taste.
Listener, the listener's not going to get it. I don't think you can get it until you try it. But yeah, it is like a food beer.
I'm kind of liking it.
And then this, going back to the Loch Ness, is the completely other direction.
I know. Yeah, it's amazing you can taste that pepper so distinctly, but it's not. It's still subtle. It's not
Right.
like making you cringe or anything. It's
Not the
just-
only flavor you get out of it.
No,
Huh.
that's awesome.
Well, I think we're wrapping up our session here, Pat.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. I want to thank you for coming out because he lives completely on the other side of town.
Yes.
He had to do some traveling.
Such
to
a
get here.
hassle.
And we're gonna throw it back for a final segment. It's probably gonna be a weird transition because when I recorded it, it was before this. I wasn't sure actually where we were gonna be. I was
Oh yeah.
reached out to a
So
couple places. Dayton's got a couple of new breweries, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where it was gonna be. But I want to thank Toxic Brew again. They did a great job here.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a great place. Come in Dayton, come here and try it out. Got a great prices too. I'll be honest,
Completely agree.
the fact that we just had, we essentially had a pint for about $8. I mean a pint, but we got to try 4
And
different
all
beers.
kinds of flavors,
All
yeah.
kinds of flavors. So, yeah. Definitely.
they do their work here.
And it's newer, first time I've been here, so I'll be back.
All right, thanks again, Pat. And when we come back, we're going to finish it up. We're going to have a This Day in Beer history and Brooks and I's last beer. Thank you. All right, our second round has just been served.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we went dark again.
We did.
Is it winter, you think, where our tastes are getting darker?
Must be.
Yeah. Whatever the case is, I'm not complaining at all.
Yep, down the hatch.
All right, Gazufa, Brooks.
Gazufa?
It's German. Whoa. Dude, that's good.
All right.
Oh, that's got a huge alcohol burn to it, too, though.
Ooh.
All right. We don't normally do this, but I'm so intrigued by this beer. I'm passing it to Brooks. You gotta try this.
Let me get a pretzel here.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. And while he does that, I might as well read it to you since I've just talked it up. But I got from Great Divide, which when I had my Colorado trip in September was another brewery I was able to visit. And in fact, it's probably my favorite brewery. Like that was the one I was like, we are going to visit. And then I
Really?
was really happy we were also able, same day, right afterwards, go see Oscar Blues.
That's awesome.
But I got the Great Divide Hibernation. It's listed as an old ale, which I have no clue what that means.
Oh,
Dude, right?
smooth.
Yeah. It says massive flavors so intense that it requires 3 months of aging each year, developing a multi-richness, complex hop profile, and hearty warming character.
That's good.
And man, that is just an apt description because it does have a very malty taste overall.
Yeah.
But you do get some hops to it, you know. It's not just overly sweet.
And it smooths it out for me. I was whew.
But you taste the alcohol in it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an 8.7, but it's present. They make fantastic beers
I'm
over
trying
at
to
Great
think if I
Divide.
had any.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had. Do they sell them around here? Great
Yeah. It's just kind of their more basics, but their Yeti is a stout. Is
Okay,
very
I've
good.
heard of that.
And actually, like that's kind of their mascot is the Yeti. The Claymore is my favorite Scotch ale.
Oh, that's Great Divide. I didn't know that. I've
Yeah.
had plenty of Claymores before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they have a really interesting, I think it's a rye IPA called Big Hoss, or just Hoss. It's very good. And then like a French farm ale called Colette, which is refreshing. Yeah, they're a great brewery. I fully enjoy them. And
Yeah, that Claymore Scotch. Some good stuff.
never had a bad one. If you guys see it on a menu anywhere, you're not sure what to, go with Great Divide. Great brewery. You'll never get
Good beer.
disappointed. At least I haven't yet.
Well, that's good to know. All right, well,
Yeah, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Left Hand Fade to Black.
Also out of Denver.
It is. I like Left Hand. I've had pretty good beers from there. This one's a black rye ale. It says aromas of dark coffee, maplewood, and hints of dark agave nectar. The flavor starts off with nut bread, flowing into molasses, followed by a taste of licorice. Sounds like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And there is a lot going on if you try it. It's just kind of, but it all combines together pretty good. I like it.
Awesome.
I'm also a big fan of the name.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of some Metallica music, and it's clearly a play off of them. They'd be proud.
The next one's actually the James Hetfield.
Yeah?
Left-hand James. No, I don't know. Or Lars Ulrich.
There you go.
I just like the description. A black rye ale is intriguing. Because, I mean, I actually really like ryes and how they're usually a little drier and spicier, but
Right. Yeah, that's
Cool.
the description. Got a lot of things going on in it.
got a nice color, too.
Black.
Is it, actually, one thing I should ask, is it heavier or is it, because it's dark, but I bet it's probably a little lighter.
It's one more taste here.
No problem.
It's a little heavier, but not like overbearing or anything like that. I don't know. You can try it if you want.
I might have to. But first,
But first,
it is January 9th, and we have a This Day in Beer History. Brooks.
what year are we talking?
Would you like to guess, sir? It's after a very classic event, famous event, that has shaped this country's foundation.
1776.
Good God, you're a year off. It's from January 9th, 1777.
Ah,
It's from the Continental Courier in Morristown, New Jersey. Headline reads, Washington and crew bunker down for winter. After crossing the Delaware in 2 triumphant victories against Cornwallis, General George Washington has taken his troops here to Morristown to take refuge for the bitter months ahead.
Smart move.
Walking among the troops shows a stark contrast in morale from a month ago when it seemed the fight against the British was all but lost. In the center of camp there is music, dancing, and merriment. The preferred drink is a barley wine that Benedict Arnold brewed at Fort Ticonderoga, primarily because the high alcohol content makes this about the only beverage that has not frozen.
Yeah.
The men are calling the brew Arnold's American Hero. Spirits are high that when the spring comes, the Continentals can finally push out the British and put together a government. There's already talk amongst the men of what kind of document they should draft to outline this new form of government. The prevailing opinion is some collection of articles. Others proclaim it will take a constitution, while a few think it should be commissioned to Karl Marx. An interesting look at American history there, Brooks.
Karl Marx, huh?
Yeah, I guess, maybe he was big back
A
then.
few Marxists running around.
Glad they didn't go that direction, right?
Yeah. Could have changed things forever.
Yeah. 60s would have been different.
Well, that's an interesting little tidbit there.
Yeah.
Like to keep our listeners informed.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what this is all about, just beer and history. And it's interesting how it intertwines with, big historical events.
I know, it's weird.
It's like somebody's doing that.
I know, isn't it?
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm pretty sure when I go to edit this show together, my sit down with my friend Pat will actually have played just before this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Pat better bring it.
Cheers from Dayton. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. He's a good guy, and he knows his beer.
You tell me he's welcome down in Bloomington to join the show.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
not the shortest drive ever.
I feel like he actually has been here once.
Really?
He went to Bluebird to see Thriller, the Michael Jackson cover band, where they had the Michaels throughout his career.
Is that what the band's called, Thriller?
I think so.
I've seen Who's Bad. They play a lot. Is
that's
that who it
that's
is?
it. My
Okay.
bad. You're right.
They're
I didn't
pretty,
go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so he's been down to Bloomington, not since we started this show, but maybe I'll get him on down here. Well, Brooks, it's been a fantastic day. Another good round of beers. A lot of sports coming up. Good luck to your
Big
Colts.
weekend. Go Hoosiers, go Colts.
My Bears are long gone.
They're
So,
prepping for next year.
I'm just into it for watching some interesting football. Interesting national championship coming up Monday, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
We've got a guest coming, Sam Mooney.
Got us a guest.
This is a guy that really knows his beers, and I'm really excited to see what he ends up ordering.
We're gonna pick some poison next week, or what games are we gonna go by?
Ooh, that's interesting. I haven't thought that far ahead. I don't want to put it in stone yet. But,
we better.
With Sam, I would actually like to play maybe a few rounds of a couple things. So.
Might have a long show. Play a couple games.
Yeah. Maybe we'll run the gamut with him. I don't know. Sam was one of the inspirations for putting this show together. Just he actually here at the Tap, they have like a membership program that you're a part of.
Right. Yeah.
But he his last night in Bloomington before he moved came here with him as a going away. But he hit his 100th beer and got his 100 beer shirt. It's really cool, actually. They have different levels, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but there's 50, 100, 250.
500.
I think 500 might be the top.
Yeah,
they
I
might
think
have
so.
extended it because a few people, I think the top guy is up around 800 now, maybe 900.
Yeah,
But you get
That's
your own
pretty
private
ridiculous.
party once you hit maybe 500.
yeah, that's what it is. Maybe one of these days.
And some excitement here going on at the Tap. If you guys are in Bloomington and you want to get a good beer, this is the place to come. So, enough rambling. We'll wrap it up. Thanks again from all of us here at Who's Drinking What. Drink on.
Sitting on my bed in my red pajamas, watching Michigan State take on Indiana in a honey thought you'd like to know. I don't mean to be apologizing, and I hate wasting time philosophizing, 'cause baby, I'm a little bit slow. I know a lot of people catch on to things quicker, and maybe I spend too much time with my liquor, and I stand still while the others go. And I never get jokes until hours later, and then I crack up in a crowded elevator, 'cause baby, I'm a little